We would say, okay, what if we had a tool that gave you real-time feedback during a job interview, answers to interview questions, recorded it, posted it on TikTok, and got 20 million views. I was like, okay, that's a pretty powerful signal when you compare it to some of the other ideas. So we did a load of these kind of product demand validation experiments, like leveraging the algorithms that, would help us validate whether people cared about this stuff. TikTok's really good at that. You don't need any followers to go viral. It sees whether your content is interesting. It tries really hard to find an audience for you. If that audience likes it, it will find another audience and kind of scale into viral content. So that was kind of our initial distribution and like product validation strategy. And once we found something that resonated with consumers, that kind of started the process of having, a funnel of users coming onto our version 1.0 of the platform. And funnily enough, that the version 1.0 of the platform wasn't directly aligned with the kind of content we were putting out, because we were putting out content for stuff that hadn't necessarily been built yet. But our mousetrap, our landing page, our product 1.0 was initially very basic. So we had kind of a Q&A for interviews rather than this real-time transcription. We had a cover letter generator, which at the time was quite unique and novel, 3 years ago. But that was our mousetrap. We validated that we could get people to the product, and we had this like fire hose of people coming down the top, and it allowed us to experiment really quickly on the product and find out what people were willing to pay for, and optimize and go really deep on the build. So that was like a really fun and exciting time, because we were dealing with tons of users that were shouting at us and telling us what they wanted us to build. And credit to my co-founder, kind of locked himself in a basement for 3 months whilst I was, having fun putting out content. And he was just relentlessly like shipping and building and fixing the problems that all these angry customers wanted. But within that, like we really did validate, this was a high pain area to try and solve for. It had gone from like validating the distribution to then building a product that solved the problems that the users were coming to us for. And then we had like this early signs of product market fit, that we were monetizing them, that they weren't churning, that, some people were happy.